Okay, now here we are at the NANBF Great Lakes Supernatural Muscle Classic Open Tall category. As you can see, it's a big full class. Big full class here. And again, they all look like they belong. There's not one guy that does not belong on stage. Who you see third from your right is Don Powell from Manteno, Illinois. He was in a bad car accident 4 years ago. Never thought he'd be back on stage again. He even told me that 4 years ago. He's like, man, I'm never going to compete again, he told me. But here he is back on stage. I asked him what inspired him. He says his belief in himself and his belief in God inspired him to get back on stage. And not only is he back on stage, but he looks better than he did last time I seen him. I think he might keep his abs in all year round. I seen him about 5 months ago looking pretty big. Okay, now check that guy out third from your right, or third from your left. That's how you don't want to pose. How your arms are out too wide like that. You want to rest your arms on your lats, okay? So you want to close that bridge a little bit. That could dock him a couple of points. And what else do we got here? This guy is second from your left. His name is Kenneth Caldwell. He was in a car accident in 1987. And he broke every bone in his body except for his neck. And he's 50 years old. Looks incredible because I thought he was like 35. And he's holding his own against 20 and 30-year-olds. And he's going to do well, but here he is on a stage. This is his third show. I think it's his first NANBF show. He normally competes with the OCB, but he found his niche in natural bodybuilding. Here he is, and I think he's going to have a good day. Yeah. Now, a lot of guys, they got the physique to win shows, but they just don't know how to pose right. I mean, like this guy third from the right, he could actually win this whole class. We'll just have to see how his posing goes, and hopefully he doesn't hold him back too much. And I can already see they're going to have to compare a couple of guys. And again, what are the judges going to be looking for? Size or symmetry? That's what you're going after, because you just never know. Size or symmetry. But just off of glance, I would put Don Powell in the top 3 or 4. Here's Greg Gabriel right here on your far right. I asked him earlier what his big goals are. His goal is not necessarily to get a pro card. It's to just keep getting bigger and better at every show. And I seen him compete at John Hansen's Mr. Illinois back in April, and he's definitely bigger than he was at that show. So there you have that. Now see this guy right here, how his heels are together. I don't think you want your heels touching. It just makes you look funny. So again, that's how not to pose. Keep your feet about, 4 to 6 inches apart. That'll bring out the outer quad sweep, and you don't want to bend your knees too much. I think it takes away from your leg separation when you bend those knees too much. Okay, now they're making some switches here. Typically when a judge makes a switch, that means they're comparing somebody for first and second or third place. So right now it looks like, well, that looks like your top 2 right there. Greg Gabriel and Sean Winston is this guy's name, this big guy here. There's your first and second place right there, it looks like, from my eyes anyway. I'm not a judge, but based off how they just moved them, that looks like what they're comparing. And even though he needs to work on his posing, he's obviously got the most size. His conditioning is good, but he's going to have to get a posing coach if he wants to go to the next level. Because he looks like a novice. Well, I mean, he looks like an open competitor. He looks like almost like he could be a pro, but his posing needs work. And Greg Gabriel's ripped and all, has good size, but as you can see, here's a clear shot. Greg's outer thigh sweep does not match Sean's outer thigh sweep, and Sean's just got overall more size, and he's got the package to bring with it. So here's Don Powell on the end here again.
Just like that.
They moved on him on the outer skirts. The question is, who's going to get 3rd, 4th, and 5th place? Let's see here. Now we got it. Here's another change. They must have made their first place nod. So they moved Don in. That's a good sign. That makes it obvious to me that Don's going to be in the top 5.
Number 34 is turning into the judges. Number 14 turning into number 22.
Generally, if you're in the middle, that's a good sign. Legs tight, Don. Yeah, it's hard to, I mean, it's so hard to stand up here and hold poses for, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. These guys all get tired after a while, so you tend to forget to pose your legs. And if your legs are soft and the guy next to you is posing his legs, that could dock you a couple of points. And generally, I mean, these guys are training anywhere from 8 weeks to 16 weeks to get ready for this one day. Okay, so this is their one shot, and they definitely don't want to screw up the posing. Otherwise, it could mean lower placing. So you want to keep every single muscle tight every time you're on stage. You always want to look your biggest on stage at all times. Never let those legs get soft. In fact, it's a rule of thumb that when you're hitting a pose, flex your legs first, then hit the upper body.
Everybody relax. Everyone relax.
These judges are pretty good about giving these guys a break because they understand these guys are getting tired. Gotta give them a break.
Everyone relax.
Got Fred Rowlett, our head judge. Listen to his interview on naturalbodybuildingradio.com. Had a pretty good interview with him this last week. Had a lot of good things to say about the NANBF.
Come on, babe. Still down there. Hi. That's good. Nice. There. God, right there.
Hold it right there. Side tricep.
There you go. Bring it out.
Nice, Don. There you go, Don.
Under them. There you go. Looks good. Right there.
Relax. Quarter turn to the right. Spike in your right calf, double bicep.
Nice hamstrings.
There you go. Find an hamstring.
Relax. Everybody spread out.
What choice did he have?
None. But going down there wasn't much better either.
Double biceps. Right in your right calf.
Right.
Come on, babe. Feather that calf. Let's go. There you go. Right there.
So you just haven't.
Relax. Lat spread, spike in your left calf.
I would like to see Don get compared to the guy third from your left.
Fighting it. There
So I
you
think
go.
Don's got a shot at third place here,
Right there.
Relax.
but he's pretty close to this guy right here on your far left. So we need to switch those two guys because we got the obvious first and second place winners right there.
Your left calf.
So let's start comparing some more judges.
Nice. That's it right there, Don. Nice.
Right there. Fighting it.
Good job, Donnie.
Relax. Eight up turn to your left. Let me see your. Eight up turn to your right. Your left.
You're right. You're right.
Left. 20
Face
left.
the curtain. Face the curtain. Eight up turn to your left. That's your right hand.
Wow. Yeah, sometimes they got to spell it out for him.
Fight.
That's it right there. Good job, Donnie.
Relax.
Yeah, I would say this is your top three right here.
Big calf. Loose.
Fighting it.
Big leg.
Relax. Quarter turn to the right. Feet flat on the shoulder. Side chest.
Yes.
There you
Big
go.
set.
Right there.
Nice. There you go.
Relax. Side tricep.
Come on, babe. Up ahead.
Relax.
Come on.
Side intercostal.
Keep going. Right there.
That's it right there. There you go.
Relax.
Good line from the leg.
Quarter turn to the right.
Nice
there.
leg, Donnie.
Hold that right there.
Fight.
54, 33 exchange places. 54, 33 exchange places.
One more time. You got to hold.